to request Dr. Alfonso. She is a healthcare supply chain management professional, having an experience of more than 9 years in renowned institutions. Currently, she is associated with Medical Trust Hospital as Senior Manager Materials. So, ma'am, please take forward being the moderator for the session. We'll move forward for the panel discussion.
Thank you, Ms. Archana. Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this important panel discussion on achieving sustainability in healthcare supply chain, balancing cost and quality. As we all know, healthcare supply chains are the lifelines of patient care delivery. In today's world, the focus is shifting not just on delivering quality care efficiently, but also doing so responsibly, ethically, and sustainably. The challenge that we face today is really clear. How do we optimize cost efficiency while ensuring uncompromised quality and yet remain aligned with our sustainability goals? We have with us today an esteemed panel of experts who bring diverse perspectives from hospital operations, procurement, policy, logistics, technology, and sustainability. I look forward to an engaging discussion that sheds light on best practices, innovative models, and the roadmap forward. So let's begin by inviting our panelists to share their opening insights. My first question is with reference to sustainability and cost. My first question is to Mr. Srinivas Rao, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. The first question is, how can healthcare organizations balance the need for sustainability with the pressure to reduce costs in supply chain management?
Yeah, the first thing is, selecting the right supplier. I've always believed that, most of our problems occur because we don't choose the right supplier to work with us. So what we need to do is to select a right supplier who has similar goals, as far as sustainable practices are concerned. And if we can work together, then, we can certainly achieve our goals. Another thing that is very important is the transparency. We need to be transparent with the suppliers. That anyway we will do, but we want the supplier also to be transparent with us because in especially in healthcare industry, there are a lot of sensitive matters that are involved. So, do we have suppliers who do not mind sharing maybe their maybe their information, what kind of setup they have, what kind of facilities they have, what kind of formula they use, what is the recipe that they have for various products, what is the bill of material. Are they willing to share this? I think that is also very, very important. So, if you have the right suppliers and if the suppliers are transparent with you and you are transparent with supplier, I think we can achieve our targets much, much more easily. The problem happens when, we look at price and price alone everywhere, and we try to get the requirements at the lowest possible price, and we don't look at other aspects. I always talk of total cost of ownership and total cost of acquisition also. You need to look at all other matters. We want suppliers who can work along with us and help us in reaching our goals. I think that is what is very, very important. Having the right supplier and being transparent also, that both are very, very critical. I think this is what is my take. If I think Rakesh or somebody else wants to add from their experience, that would be quite nice. I do not know, am I too quick or you want me to say something more? Of course, what is also important, Alphonsa, is like Dr. Vinod said, the cost benefit analysis also has to be done. Anything that we initiate, it should be useful, not only for us, for our organization, for the customers also, because we are talking of patient-centric system. So whatever we do ultimately should benefit both, not only our company or our organization, the customers also. We should have that maybe generosity to share whatever we earn or whatever we save. I think we should be nice enough to share that with our customers. That is also, I think, very important.
Yes, sir.
I
Like
don't know
you,
whether I answered your question.
yes, sir. Like you rightly mentioned, I think getting the right supplier on both solves majority of your problems.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to add in, sir? Mr. Rakesh Agarwal or Mr. Sadanand, sir?
No. Sir has given a complete insight.
Have I
Okay.
hit the nail? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Of
Absolutely.
course, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm an outsider, so I need to be careful. Can't hurt your sentiments.
No, sir.
Sir. No way.
Thank you, sir. My next question is to Rakesh, sir. Sir, what are the strategies that can be employed to reduce waste and minimize environmental impact in healthcare supply chain?
First of all, thank you, Dr. Afse and Alphonse, sorry, for to asking this question. And thank you to the once again, thank you to the Kaho team and Dr. Vinod to invite me as a speaker and a panelist also for this. So I'll start my answer with the pointers. The first point is coming that smarter inventory management, as discussed in my previous session, to reduce the this uh, garbage and the inventory friendly. We should have the smarter inventory management to which will help us to reduce the wastage on that. And as rightly said in the previous slide, my other speakers, we should know how to reduce the waste what we are generating. When I started my career, I saw one thing like the nurses who used to reuse the glucose water, they cut it and they reuse to keep the capsules and everything. Now they want to show fancy and everything. So somewhere we need to identify how we can reuse the whatever the waste we are generating, and the inventory management is the one part where it should help you, which helping the reduce the waste in all the ways. All demand and even forecasting automatic replenishment is the one tech system which will also help to reduce the wastage. Second, going to the based on the question, just a minute. Sustainable procurement, as sir said in the previous session, the procurement should be sustainable. What is like we do the procurement and other things, but sustainable procurement is another tool which will help us to procure the goods and which will eco-friendly, prioritize manufacturing, ethical sourcing. Like for example, one example, most of the garbage bag people are buying, and we are running for the cost cutting. But while buying the garbage bag, we should know that the garbage bag which we are buying is it recyclable or not, because we are just doing the 80 gram has been gas has been given by the government, 85 125 in the based on the state variance. We're just looking at that, but what kind of garbage bag people are buying, we should know that, and it should be the sustainable and eco-friendly product has to be by minimal packing. Whenever we are negotiating any product, we should have the packing and everything, and we have to see the packing should be minimum. Like for example, if people are aware earlier, meropenem injection, meropenem is a molecule used to come from the AstraZeneca. That used to come in the one single tray and with the 10 packing. Now all this meropenem which you have seen other, they're coming the single monocarton packing and other thing. So while doing the procurement and while doing the negotiation, we should see how our procurement can be eco-friendly. Ethical sourcing has to be there. Coming to green logistic. So one day I was standing in the one of the hospital store. I went for some discussion or meet with my friends. So I saw the one vehicle came with the delivery, but the kind of pollution that vehicle was generating, it was very like unbearable to stand over there also. So we should see if we can go for the logistic system, and we can discuss with our partners like eco-friendly vehicles, or we can go the battery, and we can go the CNG vehicles kind of, that will be also help reduce the waste. Fourth, which is main, if you'll see the audit, our quality departments are doing auditing the segregation and recycling of the wastage. So segregation of the wastage is very important. Even we people are not used throwing the papers in the right garbage bin, or the color coding which has been defined with our quality or internal department. So right, segregation is another important tool for the waste, reduce the waste. And recycling, wherever, like whatever we are buying, as I discussed in the previous just before on another heading, The recycling product we should buy, whatever we can buy, it should be recyclable. Third, while we are negotiating in the plastic manufacturing like syringes, all these cannulas or all these tubings products, LLDPE products has to be we should buy, which is harmful, not harmful to the patient also, and which is eco-friendly. Life cycle cost analysis. While we are doing the cost negotiation, generally we are presenting to the management, and we are for ourselves also, we are just doing the comparison of the cost. But we should see the total cost. I'll call it TCO, total cost, which is impacting the environmental, economic impact, durable, energy efficiency equipment, sustainable. Like I'm buying one medical equipment, but it is like cheaper to me, but maybe the consumption of the power is very high. So in that case, we should consider, like whenever we are doing by negotiating any medical equipment, any product, life cycle cost analysis has to be done. 6 point, education and culture. So waste reduction protocols, reusable alternative green practices has to be, some education and culture has to be adopted in the organization so that we can reduce the waste which will help you to decrease the cost of the waste management also. Those are the points which I want to discuss on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us the key factors which we have to consider to reduce waste and minimize environmental impact, and how we can reduce wastage and control our inventory. Thank you, sir. My next question is to Mr. Sadanand, sir. Sir, how can supply chain leaders prioritize sustainability while still maintaining high quality patient care? This is something which everybody is, looking for answers, but we're still not able to find any.
Yes, I think that is really a crucial question, which even we sometimes would like to know the answers for. Yes, but supply chain leaders in healthcare face the complex but critical task of prioritizing sustainability while simultaneously ensuring high quality patient care. This isn't a trade-off, but rather an integrated approach that what I feel that can lead to a better outcome for both patient and as well as planet. I think partner with suppliers who demonstrate strong environmental and social responsibilities can be considered, considering factors like biodegradability, recyclability, and use of non-toxic material. This could be one of the criteria for selecting the vendor, or a critical task of prioritizing sustainability in healthcare environment. Source material and products locally to reduce the transportation emission and support local economies. By doing that, you are saving on time, as well as you have to promote efficiency throughout the supply chain. This includes using renewable energy sources like solar and wind, energy efficient equipment, and I think smart systems for managing utilities. One should invest in electric and hybrid vehicles for medical supplies transportation. I think by integrating sustainability into every facet of their supply chain operations, healthcare leaders can build more resilient and I feel efficient and ethical systems that provide exceptional patient care while contributing to healthier planet. That is what my opinion is.
Thank you, sir. But this still remains, a very big challenge for all of us to identify somebody locally while maintaining the same quality, what we source from imported products. But
Correct.
still, like you mentioned, sir, we will try our best to do or support our local environment, so local manufacturing, without compromising patient care.
Correct.
So
As
the
I said,
next,
so healthcare is still in primitive stages for circular economy. So that would be definitely remain a challenge for some years to come.
yes, sir, we look forward to overcoming that challenge very soon. So the next question we have related to with reference to patient safety and quality, sir. My question is to Srinivas, sir, again. What are the key challenges in ensuring quality and patient safety while implementing sustainable supply chain practices?
Key challenges. I think I should, pick up from where Mr. Sadanand Toraskar left. I think, like we are not ready for the change. Looks like that. We need to accept changes. I always believe that change is, like discontinuous. You need to keep changing all the time. Don't remain, you keep on changing, keep on improving. I think that is what is very, very important. A few years back, like I had gone to Sri Lanka to again speak at some healthcare related programs. And the Sri Lankans, those years, of course, they made me feel very bad about India. They said we don't trust, any Indian products because India does not believe in quality. And I had a tough time convincing these guys, saying that in India we don't, have anything like export quality, domestic quality anymore. Everything is like good quality, and we believe only in good quality. Because they were intent on importing everything from the UK. So in India also today we have a lot of good manufacturers. We do believe in quality. Quality is not a matter to be negotiated anymore. I think we must believe in change. I think that's the first challenge that we have. Do we believe in changes? Do we want to do better? I think we are on the right path. We are doing a lot of things, to so that we change. That's what I feel. Let us believe in ourselves. Let us have that can-do attitude, and we can do certainly a lot for the public or for the society. Second thing is like, do we have the capacity? Do we have the capability? Do we have enough people who are like skillful, who are well trained? Now, how many, are really educationally qualified in supply chain who are in healthcare industry? Who are maybe at the same time perhaps having a healthcare admin background, or doctors who are in that industry. So do we have the right people? Do we have the right resources? I think that's another thing. Are we really interested in what we are set out to do, taking care of the patients, their safety? So that's another thing. So you need to have the right approach for implementation. You must believe in yourself. Yes, we can do a lot together. Let us work on resources. Let us create the right resources, especially human resources. There are plenty of you whom I have met, whom I have seen, and some of you are still here on this. You're new to me maybe. I think you are the right guys. You are the change agents. Believe in yourself. You can certainly do a lot. Last thing is, sustainability. We begin with a big bang, and then somewhere we give up. We may have, some failure cases. Then we lose hopes. So let us start maybe with small projects where we show success, showcase our success to the management. Let us have their buy-in, and I'm sure we can do a lot. So we have right people. These kind of programs are certainly good. You are on the right, direction. You've taken the right step by having a program. I think at the beginning, we were told that this is the first program in this topic. So you're on the right move. Continue to do that, and I'm sure we will have better resources, in the industry who are more positive in whatever they are doing. So let us not lose hopes. Certainly, a lot of things can be there. Challenges would be there. If challenges are not there, we wouldn't be existing, right, Rakesh ji? We will not be required at all.
Right, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's my take on this.
Yes, sir. Like you said, India is making a lot of progress on the manufacturing side and ensuring the products manufactured are of good quality. And like you said, the patient care or patient safety cannot be, that is one area which cannot be compromised. And I'm sure our manufacturers are working towards that. And, eventually India will be on a global map.
True.
So just
Thank you.
to add, Mr. Srinivas, India is exporting major export of the drugs. For fine drugs, we are not the major manufacturer of the API, but we are the major manufacturer of the drugs. Although I had also had the same situation, I was interviewed by some of the people in abroad. So I was asking them to buy the drugs from India. The same discussion, I had a discussion with the management for half an hour to come. Why the Indian products are better than the other countries. So we have all kind of products. That's what I've convinced them.
Yeah, because I have worked with some of the pharma companies. I have friends in pharma companies, all in supply chain, and I know how to what extent they go to take care of everything. They're certainly conscious of the requirements, and then they're working on that to improve further. Yeah. Okay. I think
Yes, sir.
that's it, Dr. Alphonse, from our side. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Rakesh, sir, the next one is for you. How can healthcare organizations ensure that sustainable supply chain practices do not compromise patient care? This is again in addition to the previous question, but if you can elaborate a little bit more.
So, Dr. Alphonsa, this is a very tough question because 80% of my procurement team and people who are not organized, they are struggling daily, like with the emergency drugs, emergency demands, and they all these parameters sometimes we are neglecting, but we should consider that. So, like while we should some strategy point which I can share with you. Always prioritize the clinical efficiency and safety above all of else, which is non-negotiable while procurement and while finalizing any of the product. And other than that, to manage that, we should have the rigorous vetting. Whatever procurement we are doing, should the vetting system has to be there in our system so that we can check whatever decision has been taken, which are correct or not, product we are buying, which is correct or not. Second, while like we people are going on the based on the decision, we have a very simple practice in the system. We'll get the sample, give it to the user. User will share the feedback. That feedback can be biased also, and we'll start buying the products. Okay, but we should go for the evidence-based decision to procure to make the procurement. And strategy for to make this procurement has to be very refined, and that should be defined in our SOP or in the KRA. And the major second point, which is related to this, ensure uninterrupted supplies and resilience, which is very important. Redundancy and diversification is a major point of this supply issues where we can maintain then strategic stock piling and critical items. Like you have seen this, sometime of the critical injection or critical drugs, critical consumables are not available in our store because of the high carrying cost of some consumables or some drugs which is not available. For example, we got a snake bite case at night, maybe 2 p.m., 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. That time no vendor is there and we not have the stock also. And based on the ROL, we are keeping the stock. So we should have keep in mind to keep in mind the patient care. We should consider what is the minimum dose is required for any based on the average age or weight on the patient. And again, the strategy for the stock keeping has to be very strong. Third point, maintain or enhance quality performance. So performance metric is the one key point which is required to whatever the vendor is delivering to us product. The key performance metric has to be defined to us. Standardization training is the periodical training is required. How to check, how to maintain this product and everything. The team training is very big because we have seen the pharmacists are working 12 hours, 6 hours duties, and trainings are very less has been given to them. Again, that's for related. This strategy has to be strong. Transparency and communication with clinical staff. So one thing is like in India, and I've been to the abroad also. I work in UAE, where the pharmacists are very empowered. The doctor will write only the molecule and brand will be decided by the pharmacist. Although they have a very strong policy, they have only 2-3 brands approved. And, they will not get the 10 brands or 20 brands or 30 brands of the single molecule. That is their country line. But the clinical staff is very strong over there. So while in India we are afraid to communicate with the nursing staff, still our team is able to manage. But going to the doctor level and other level, that sometimes they're hesitating or they're not feeling comfortable to discuss with the doctor. So transparency and communication is one area where we should be transparent with our, I'll say, customer or user. Early engagement whenever we are going with any of this kind of product buying, we should engage this users immediately, initially. Clear direction, or you can say clear communication has to be given. The strategy has to be defined for this. Coming to the fifth point, focus on the waste reduction and expired obsolete stock. So there's another direct patient to the benefit to the patient. If we can reduce the waste reduction, or we can reduce the expired stock and obsolete stock, it will help give the direct benefit to the patient. Because as I shared the example in my previous talk session, the medicine are expired physically and it's not expired in the system. There are so many cases you can see now in any of the healthcare. So while they are delivering to the patient, we find the medicine expired, or sometimes by mistake that expired medicine also dispensing errors has been done also and injected also to the same has been given to the patients also. So that was also another way. Efficiency for the caregivers. We should think about the caregivers also, what kind of product we are buying and how they are comfortable or not with that. And sixth point is ethical sources and labor practices. This is a major point. Like we should go for the ethical. So as I shared the garbage bagging example, even I have some of the hospital I've seen that they are buying the this sharp container also, but the sharp container is not complying with the plastic is used for the sharp container, is not complying with the standard which has been maintained by the government for the recyclable and other things. So beyond environmental impact, we should not compromise for anything. And again, the same strategy for this has to be there. Coming to the question, this patient care and patient service, which is very important. Patients is like you can say in healthcare industry, two people are very important. First, one is patient, second is the doctor. And if our customers, or you can say our, with us, for whom we people are working, and any of the organization, they are treating of the about 100 patient, 150 patient on daily basis, and in OPD also 200. If we are not justifying with them, so we should not work in this department, or we can say we should work for them. If we are not loyal, or we can't care for them. So we should treat our customer, I'll say patient, in a family way, so that whatever we are doing, we're taking any action, we should think this is something for my family members. That's what I can say, Dr. Alphonsa.
Yes, sir. Thank you. One point, what you mentioned is absolutely right, because I think for us as hospitals, the patients are our customers, they are our kings. So no patient should be refused any treatment or neglected any treatment due to any supply chain issues. And the points that you mentioned on inventory control, etc., all lead to this. Thank you, sir. My next question is to Sadanand, sir. So what role does supplier quality play in achieving sustainability in healthcare supply chain?
In my opinion, of course, supplier quality plays a important and multifaceted role in achieving sustainability in healthcare supply chain. I think it is not just about getting good products. It's about ensuring the entire life cycle of those products and processes used to create them. It should be aligned with environment, social, and economic sustainability goals also. I think to reduce waste and emission, high quality suppliers are more likely to have efficient manufacturing processes, leading to less waste generation and lower greenhouse gas emission during production and transportation. Again, like quality suppliers can contribute to sustainability by offering products designed for durability, reusability, and recyclability. Of course, for patient safety and outcomes, high quality medical products are fundamental to patient safety and positive healthcare outcomes. Standard products can lead even to adverse event requiring additional resources and potentially increasing healthcare's overall environment and financial burden. But at the same time, for prioritizing supplier based on their environmental, social, and governance performance along with their this includes their certification like ISO 14001 for environmental management. Also monitoring them for regularly for their assessing supplier performance against sustainability targets which they must have declared, and conducting audits to ensure compliance in identified areas for improvement. In the sense, supplier quality is not a separate consideration but an integral component of the truly sustainable healthcare supply chain. That's what I feel. By prioritizing and managing supplier quality with a sustainable lens, healthcare organization can significantly reduce their environmental footprint and uphold a social responsibility and achieve long-term economic viability. That is what I feel.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Supplier onboarding process is a very integral part of supply chain, and what you mentioned exactly points to that. So now we have a couple of questions in relation to technology and innovation. So Srinivas sir, again, how can technology such as blockchain and artificial intelligence support sustainable supply chain practices in healthcare?
Uh, yeah, okay, role of technology, interesting question. I think this is something that has invaded into our house also. I remember one incident where a cousin of mine and her husband, both are doctors. Incidentally, they came from a city called Sangli in Maharashtra. They came down to my house in Bangalore. The moment they, got into our house, it was an unexpected visit. Of course, my hall suddenly became like an emergency room, and I welcomed them. And the first question that I asked, I didn't offer water or tea. The first question that I asked my cousin's husband is, does he want to charge his mobile? He was very happy that I straight away asked about charging. Next question after some time was like, does he want my Wi-Fi username and password? He literally hugged me. So mobile and or this technology has certainly invaded into our life. If that has happened, why don't we use this technology in healthcare more extensively? I think that is what we need to look at. Certainly, it will it has invaded everywhere. So I think Sadanand sir was talking about compliance. One of the softwares that we recommend is something called spend management software. This will help us analyze, the data, procurement data, to maybe identify savings opportunity, especially through sustainable practices. Everybody is talking about artificial intelligence today. How do we use AI? We have different types of AI also now. How do we use AI to predict demand? How do we use AI to predict market trends? What's happening to demand and supply? What's happening to price? Can we use AI? That's, I think, another area that we need to look at. It's certainly possible. There are companies worldwide that are using AI. Next thing is maybe supplier portals. If we can have strong supplier portals, I think our communication becomes easier. We can keep our, like order management, or maybe various types of communication about your requirements, postponements, cancellation, early deliveries. Everything is possible through the supplier portals. That's another area that we can think of. Now, in the healthcare industry, as I know, I have a cousin also who is a urologist, and he was working for some of the big companies here, big hospitals here, and he was known for use of RPA. Can we use RPA in supply chain management, maybe to automate some repetitive tasks like accounts payables or receiving the invoices, matching the invoices, or maybe for order processes? If you have some regular requirements, routine requirements, and all, where the deliveries are required on a regular basis. Somebody spoke of RAL and ROQ and all. Based on those ROLs and ROQs, can we have the system helping us to create more and more regular orders as and when required? And I've already mentioned about blockchain technology. This will certainly help us in a long way, because what I've seen is, especially in pharmacy and all, see, you have tablets and all coming in strips. You also keep accounts in strips, the stock records and all. And if somebody asks for just one tablet, one capsule, the pharmacist may give, especially the chemists and pharmacists outside, not inside the hospitals but elsewhere. They can't keep track of, like, if the strip of 15, you start selling one by one tablet, then you don't know how many tablets are with you in stock exactly. Similarly, it can happen in other areas also. And unless we again update the records on time, real time, on time, a lot of maybe issues and a lot of receipts may not be noted at all. You may be having stock here somewhere, but you are not aware. Your inventory records are not up to date, and you will end up buying that material or equipment once again. So blockchain certainly helps us keeping track of the movement of materials, movement of the assets, like your scanners and maybe the various equipment that are used in hospitals. That should help us a great deal. These are available everywhere. Companies are also working on, like companies like where I am associated, Infosys. We are working extensively on even Chat GPT and other things, so that any information that we want, we can retrieve easily. So, yes, technology is invading into our life, but I think it's quite useful also. Earlier, like Rakesh was saying something, suppose you have on some tour, personal tour, you are like, you have visited a particular city, suddenly you get a message on your mobile saying that, through your company, you have placed an order and the supplier is close by. Would you like to visit? The order is still pending. So though you're on your personal visit, you can, go and perhaps visit the supplier and find out what has happened to your order. So that's the kind of advantage that we have today, based on whatever, for whatever purpose we use. I think technology can be well utilized in the healthcare industry. for not the maybe sustainable practices in the entire supply chain practices, we can certainly use the technology to a great extent to our benefits. Yeah, that's my take.
Thank you, sir. You absolutely nailed it. Like you said, technology has already intruded into our lives in a lot of aspects. And definitely integrating that in our healthcare supply chain can definitely improve the efficiency of the department, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rakesh, sir, next one is for you. What innovative solutions can be leveraged to reduce waste, improve efficiency, and enhance sustainability in healthcare supply chain?
We have so many, like as we have discussed in past also in previous some topics, what kind of innovatives. So as sir said in slides, like we should use the first the whatever that we are going to procure, we should find the ways how we can reduce the waste and how the waste whatever generated by us can be reused, or we can send someone to for for example, like we are sending the carton corrugated carton boxes to the some of the vendors who can reusing it, and some of the areas we can identify. I was like wondering, I was sitting with one of the vaccine manufacturer, and they were struggling with the one point, which is like these people want to this is one area which is called here this cold chain pouches, and they are sending with the vaccine, it's not coming back to them, and there's a cost to them also, and the this is pouches, some of the time you will find this is lying in the dustbins. So in this case, what we have found it, like if we can found it some metrics that we can develop the some you can say mechanism which are not required, this cold chain pack can be sent back to them. Same way we can find the whatever we are using on unpacking any of the material in our of the warehouse, or you can say pharmacy, some of the mechanism can be developed, which is a cost also, maybe the sometimes the cost is very high for that to resend and to reuse those products to them, but it is one way we can identify first. Second thing, whatever we are going to negotiate, again, coming again, I'm emphasizing on the every time negotiating. We should with the product we are going to negotiate how much these people are generating the waste. The product, maybe we can find some alternative product. Direct cost will be maybe high, but the indirect cost will be less to what should I say, to generated waste, because the cost of the waste generated to the hospital is another way you can say is high to us, and whatever we are sending back to them, this is also cost to like waste biomedical waste cost is too high to us also, and another way, like we can discuss, we can do the training, we can discuss with the people in house whom are working, how to reduce the waste, how to segregate the waste is another way, and that's what the point. I think all the other points we've already discussed the previously, and the same related to this. That's what I can say in this.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the importance of reducing waste and how to manage this efficiently. Sadanand, sir, how can
Yes.
healthcare organizations stay ahead of the curve in terms of sustainable supply chain technologies?
uh, to stay ahead of the curve in terms of sustainable supply chain technologies, I think one can implement AI and machine learning algorithms that analyze the historical usage, seasonal trends, disease patterns, social determinants, and even real-time data from the healthcare records. This leads to far more accurate demand predictions and minimizing overstocking or understocking. Also, real-time inventory tracking by deploying IoT sensors, RFIDs, real-time location sensors to track medical supplies, equipment, and even staff movement within the facility. I think this will provide unprecedented visibility into inventory levels as well as location and usage, enabling automated reordering and reducing loss and theft. Also, in my opinion, leverage, we had discussed about blockchain. So, leverage blockchain technology to create an immutable and transparent ledger of every transaction, and movement of product from manufacturer to patient. This will ensure product authenticity, verifies ethical sources also, and provides clear insights into the environment and social footprints of products throughout their life cycle. Also, I feel blockchain can simplify compliance with the regulations like Drug Supply Chain Security Act by providing tamper-proof records and easy access to product history. Also, we can look for green logistics and smart transportation by utilize route optimizing softwares, telematics and real-time traffic data to plan most fuel efficient delivery routes, which will also we can look for alternative fuels like electric and hybrid and consider optimizing delivery schedules to reduce the number of trips. This can be done. Also, in my opinion, implementing strategies to consolidate shipments and prioritize local supplies wherever feasible. This will reduce transportation and distance and emissions and cost. Uh, Also, we can consider suppliers who use biodegradable and compostable or recyclable packaging materials and invest in technologies and partnership that support closed loop recycling and processing of single-use medical devices. This will drastically reduce the waste to the landfills and conserve our valuable resources. I think by strategically investing in these technologies and fostering a culture of continuous improvement and collaboration, healthcare organization can definitely reduce their environmental impact and enhance social responsibility and also achieve significant cost saving, improve operational efficiency and build a more resilient and future-proof supply chain. I think this is the way we can try to stay ahead of the curve in terms of sustainability in supply chain technology.
Y-
One
Yes, sir.
thing I
Thank
want
you.
to add in this point, the cost, we are talking about the technology, but cost of the technology sometimes is very high to the organization, and someone has to be come up with some solution, and they can train or they can explain to the management or the people, because we see the one-time cost, but we don't see the long-term cost of that. So if somebody is we need one thing which is missing, the comparison between the current cost and the cost which is impacting us for next 5 years, 10 years, and how the cost can be reimbursed, but the technology will be implemented. And some of the standalone hospitals, some chains are struggling to implement some kind of technology because of the cost, but also because in India technology is a cost, and the technology where the people don't see the any outcome of the technology has been implemented. So some trainings or some documents or some calculations are required to explain them what is the technology, how to maintain that. Sorry, if I
No, sir, you have very rightly put the point, because most of the healthcare organizations look at cost, like you mentioned earlier. The direct cost is the first impact. That is one thing everybody is considerate about. Nobody looks at the long term. But then, if there is a right person to explain everything to the management, I think slowly there can be a change. I wouldn't say very fast, but slowly. Again, like Sadanand sir said, the reiteration of the importance of technology in blockchain has, like sir highlighted, and also the use of biodegradable products by the manufacturers. Those are important factors, again, while how to stay ahead. We have a couple of questions, sir, related to collaboration and partnerships. Srinivas, sir, if I can put this forward to you, what role can collaboration and partnerships play in achieving sustainability in healthcare supply chains?
Okay, yeah, I need to think a bit. Of course, uh, again, like you need to be a bit careful. You can't have collaboration and partnership everywhere. All depends on what product or services you are buying. Now, like I normally use something called Kraljic model here, which talks about the spend value. How much money are you spending on the acquisition of something, and then what kind of risk are you taking by not having that maybe material or service in time. Is there a loss of business? Is there a loss of reputation? Is there any impact on negative impact on the profit? So there are four categories of products or services. Something called routine items, then something called leverage items, then you have something called bottleneck items or requirements and the strategic or critical requirements. These are the two areas where you need to ideally have partnerships where you have bottleneck suppliers or bottleneck items or services where you would like to work closely with the suppliers. But suppliers may not be interested because they kind of have monopolistic hold. They may not care for what you want. So you need to be perhaps a good customer there. You need to pay them on time. You maybe some senior guy in the department manages this account, like how marketing guys have customer account manager. I think maybe you'll have to have maybe a supplier account manager, Sam, who will interact only with such suppliers who are maybe very rigid. They have monopolistic hold. There isn't much competition. You need to work closely. If necessary, I always recommended you need to take them out for a business lunch also. What I have done is, I have organized their family meeting, with my company CEO's family. Both the families meeting somewhere has helped a lot. I had never met my CEO or CEO's family, but I have organized a meeting somewhere at some star hotel in Mumbai. I work mainly in Mumbai and Bangalore, and the supplier was so happy. Next day he comes and says, "Your CEO is so nice, so down to earth," without realizing that I have actually stage managed that meeting. But then supplier, like after that mellowed down and whatever I wanted, I could get. With the strategic, requirements, you need to have partnerships. You need to work closely with both the supplier. You need to cut down costs. Together, you need to cut down costs. What is also important is, many times we want, any savings we want to for ourselves. We don't want to share with the suppliers. I think we should also believe in sharing. Maybe out of 10 paise that we save, you keep 5 paise, I keep 5 paise, or you can be more generous, you keep 6 paise, let me keep 4 paise because all the improvements have been done at your place, so you deserve more. I think that is what needs to be done. It's not just saying that we want to partner with some supplier. We need to really look at them as partners, collaborators. Then they will also be happy to work with us. I think that is what is very important today. And in sustainable practices, all the more important, because if your goals are at loggerheads with their goals, then nothing will work out for you. So together you will have to work. So you need to be very careful also, very choosy when you select the supplies for these kind of movements. So otherwise, what will happen is, again, like I said earlier, it will fail. So you need to be a bit careful, very, very cautious, and then be good, because I also all feel, we are on the seat of power because we are supply chain guys. So, but we need to sometimes be good at marketing also. So if we can market our organization well, I think suppliers also will listen to us. They'll be happy to work with us. And paying, I don't know how many of you have experienced that. I worked at least in 2 of the companies where we could make payments on time to our supplier. So making payment to suppliers on time is a very powerful tool for all the supply chain guys. So I've been lucky, at least in 2 of the companies where we could make payment on time. At times we could even lend money to our suppliers. We were so cash rich. So that's another benefit that one has. Okay. Yeah, I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. I think this is one aspect which most of us don't really think about, creating a win-win situation for the supplier as well as us. So, and the supplier payments that you mentioned, that is one stronghold. The suppliers do tend to work with us even more once the payments are on time. Thank you, sir. Rakesh, sir, how can healthcare organizations work with suppliers, manufacturers, and other stakeholders to drive sustainability initiatives?
So to answer to your question, first thing, we all the healthcare, we people at supply chain side and procurement side, we have a target to reduce the cost. So sometimes these things are missed by us. Definitely, I'm not denying that this is the targets to reduce the cost, but we don't see I'm saying the total cost. So one government has started one good initiative, which is called ESG, so environmental, social, and governance. So people are following that, but just to compliance the ESG as per the document, they are working on that. They are not working on the other areas of the related to ESG. And we should, to implement the ESG effectively, we should integrate ESG criteria into the procurement. That is has to be there, because in most of the procurement where the ESG norm minimal 5 to 10%, 20% is currently integrated with our procurement, where the ESG as per the legal liabilities or as per the return we have to submit, only that is applicable till now. And use tool like, as my other speakers partner said, sustainable procurement index for help to access the supplier on emission, labor practice, and packing sustainability. Second thing, this is a one point, which point, like when we are negotiating and going with the vendor and we are finalizing, there should be some audit metrics, or there should be visit metric. We don't visit our partners also, how they are manufacturing their, whatever they're saying that they are following the norms or not, we should see that also. Even supplier also having the pressure to reduce the cost, because sometimes this ESG and environmental friendly things are missing, but they should be in the system, because it should be start from our side, then only supplier will follow that. Then second point is foster transparent supplier relationship. So build long relationship, long-term partnership based on the shared sustainable goals, as I said in the previous talk, and encourage open communication about the sourcing practices, carbon footprints, and continuous improvement, which is required to reduce the wastage. And then third point is co-develop sustained products, like collaborative with manufacturer, design eco-friendly, reusable, recyclable product. Like, so we are following this. I'll share the related this one example. Shop container, most of the hospital are using. So one day we went to the, we were giving the shop container to some waste management guy, because there was no policy earlier in Punjab. Went to his house and the place where he's taking all the shop containers. You know what he was doing after removing all the shops? That boxes he was using to use the, keep the spices or some masalas at his home. So kind of product what we are developing, or what we are buying, we should develop if that product can be used and sustainable and low impact material and circular product design. Support the innovation with the vendors. Like sometime vendor will come, so I have innovated this product, but because of the cost or some other reason not going, we should support this kind of product. Another point is promote ethical and local sourcing, and to reduce the wastage, or you can say environment, to keep our environment friendly, because any product which is coming from the abroad or other countries, there so much of packing will come, I think, which is another waste will increase. So we should support the local people, even the transport cost would be less. Prioritize the supply that follows ethical labor practice. Also, this is another, to avoid any conflict materials. That is which point which people are missing while negotiating or contracting with any of the vendor. Source locally wherever is, again I'm repeating this, transportation emissions, support regional economics, that will also help us. Then we should, one point which is missing in our current healthcare procurement, as not healthcare in so many procurement versus implement joint waste reduction program. I'll share one example with this. In Dubai or UAE or in so many countries, whatever the plastic water bottle has been generated by the companies are selling, they have a responsibility to take it back and to recycle of those bottles. There's a heavy penalty, heavy process. The process has been designed, defined by the country. But in our country, you can find these bottles are laying near the river, you can roadside, and if you're driving to the hill station, you can see downstairs this is like. So this implement joint waste reduction program is the one point where it should be there, and we should discuss with the vendor while negotiating they will take it back or not. And standardized packing, to improve the packing can be changed, which will reduce the waste. That's another way we can collaborate with the vendors. Like there's a, for example, we are buying the dialysis can be given to the vendor bag, most of the hospital giving, and we can find a way how we can reduce the more waste on that. Share the data, sustainability metrics, use shared dashboard to track carbon emission, waste, and energy use across the supply chain. This is another way to reduce the waste. Align on measurable sustainable targets. As I said, even while negotiating or buying any of the medical equipment, we should see what is the energy consumption is there or not, and we should not see the front cost, indirect cost also should be considered. Engage the industry collaboration, which is the one point. Although that there are so many conferences are now holding and organized by the government and other people, but this is a more innovative or more discussion required on this. Joint healthcare sustainability conferences has to be done on that, and we have to work on that. And working group shared the best practices, and we should make. I used to attend one conference before COVID in Delhi, green procurement, sustainable procurement. This has been stopped. There was a good initiative by the Delhi government, but now it has been stopped post-COVID. And again, we should create the awareness. We should like we should discuss with the government and other people who can organize the seminars and summits on this. There's another way to partnership with that. These are all points I can submit on this point. Question.
Thank you, sir. You have highlighted the importance of hospitals working in tandem with suppliers or manufacturers to actually make the supply chain sustainable. Sir, my last question is to Srinivas, sir. What are some successful examples of collaborative sustainability initiatives in healthcare supply chain? Sadanand, sir, am I audible?
Oh, sorry. You said Srinivas, sir, so I was
No,
waiting for.
Sadanand, sir. Sorry.
Okay,
What
okay.
are some successful examples of collaborative sustainability initiatives in
Yes,
healthcare supply chain?
yes. I think upfront, I remember one name, Dr. Lalpat Labs. They have implemented automation and IT advancement to reduce plastic waste from from their diagnostic testing. And as far as my knowledge goes, they have decreased their sample splitting uh, to almost like 5.2 tons annually in year 2024. Um, Many healthcare organizations have started using electric and hybrid vehicles, optimizing routes and AI-driven software, and implementing eco-friendly cooling solutions to reduce the carbon footprints. Many organizations have started using biodegradable, recyclable, and reusable packaging material to reduce the waste. But of course, I can give you another examples several Indian organizations are actively adopting green economy practices and strategies. Companies like Mahindra and Mahindra, ITC, and Adani Group are among those who have started already to reduce their carbon footprint. Like Mahindra and Mahindra has committed to becoming a carbon neutral company by 2040. ITC is working towards transition to 100% renewable energy by 2030. Adani Group plans to expand its renewable power operations significantly by 2030. Wipro also has aimed to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emission by end of 2040. Dalmia Cement also has committed to becoming the first cement business to achieve carbon neutrality by 2040. There are other government initiatives also like National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture focuses on promoting climate resilient farming practices like precision agriculture and organic farming. There is another PM Kusum Yojana, which supports solar power irrigation systems and off-grid solar pumps for farmers. Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transportation Transformation. That is also another scheme which is introduced by Government of India to promote eco-friendly urban infrastructure, including water supply and sanitation. And Green India Mission (GIM) aims to increase uh, forest cover and restore biodiversity. So these are the few examples and schemes which are now available for successful, you can say, sustainability towards the environment.
Noted, sir. Thank you. I think going forward, each healthcare organization should work towards being role models by focusing on sustainable healthcare practices, sir. Thank you very much. It is now open for the audience. Audience, do you have any questions for any of the panelists?
So some of the question I got it directly, I think. Okay. One place is any of the place where the RFID and barcode is implemented fully references SCM. So healthcare, I didn't find whether this 100% is implemented. In other industries has been implemented. As I said during my session, this one is tough to maintain because the sometime the volume is very high for syringes kind of product, IV fluids, and sometimes return to vendor return, like atropine kind of injection we can't implement. But 95% we can implement in our pharmacy. That's what I can say on that. The second question from some Smita K. Temperature is fine, but exposure to the variant temperature till what duration can affect the efficiency. of performance adjusted CO2 variation can affect the efficiency. So Smita, this is based on the molecule. The question is you're right, but this based on the molecule, we need to read it. If 2 days temperature is not maintained, it will efficacy will not be there. But in during, as I said, this IVF drugs, I've seen the efficacy differs, and in some of the complete batches has been taken written by the companies, good MNCs company. Third, cost-effective and best temperature monitoring device for a drug storage area. That I'm not. You can do the Google. I don't have any idea on that. And how to measure the carbon footprint. So this is one tool is available for that. So somebody is anonymous question has asked. The tool is there. You can measure your carbon footprints. That's the question. And one more question, the chat box is there, so somebody can answer, Mr. Srinivas and Mr. Sadanand.
Which one is that?
That question is sustainability in healthcare waste management, how it is implemented.
Okay, then I think one of you must ideally answer, but all I know is that yes, there are agencies available who can help in these areas, and of course they have their own their own problems. Where do they exactly like dispose this off or recycle? But then, as I know, there are agencies who help in the waste management area. Again, how do you, because again depends on what kind of maybe mindset you have. How do you segregate things? How do you store them properly? Even the waste, that is very, very important. Waste also, like somebody somewhere at some program in Mumbai, one of the CEOs of one big organization, he said, we need to look at waste also as human beings. Then we'll take better care of them. Old, grandparent on the deathbed, we don't neglect. Same way with waste also, we should not neglect. You should segregate them properly. Then disposal becomes easier, or the proper utilization is much, much easier. But there are agencies, maybe I don't know, Sadanand sir or Rakesh sir, if you know of any agency, you can share, or anybody else from the group. It's open to everybody. It's not necessary that we, the panelists, have to answer, but any expert can answer. If somebody is there, somebody knows about such agency.
Yes, so there are agencies who can help you to measure your carbon emission. And generally in healthcare, this carbon emission is most commonly generated by your air conditioning systems. One of the equipment in operation theater which I can name is your anesthesia machine again, which can create a carbon emission. There are agencies who will help you to measure these emissions, and you can set a parameter or a benchmarking wherein you alert can be generated, and you can try to minimize as far as possible. So if anyone wants to know the industry, even I offline don't know, but I can definitely find out and share the details. If anyone has such a similar question, can directly reach out to me. I can definitely find out the solution and give it to you.
I would like to add that from Kaho, we have Madam Kirti D'Souza. So you may please connect with her. She'll definitely guide you regarding all the agencies because she's taking care of it.
Okay, I think there's one more question about any real-time tracking application for supply chain management. Yeah, there are plenty of applications available. It all depends on what kind of budget you have. Do you want somebody who is very expensive, maybe highly reliable, or somebody who is not expensive but kind of startup company? Again, depends on like what kind of system you want. Like recently, I got a communication or a request from one of the airports here in India, and they wanted to get into this area, but then they didn't want to spend much money. Private, operated by a private organization, and I did give the name of one or two organizations because they wanted to save money. But there are big companies available, and today tracking is very easy, not very difficult. I just recently sold off two of my cars, old cars, and then bought Franks. And Franks has a facility where you can know where the car is, whether the car is locked or not, whether anything wrong with the car, where exactly have you parked, is it on the move, at what speed it's going, and all. All such applications are available. If you can track a car, you can certainly track any of your consignments or the cargoes. So plenty of applications are available. So again, a specific tool for vendor selection and its performance, you can work with the, like all the ERP service providers like maybe SAP, Oracle, BAN. They all have packages. Even they have other tools like Ayasta, Coupa. All these tools are available for e-sourcing, for e-procurement. You can just check any of these tools. Popular ones for me are like Ariba, Ayasta, and Coupa. That is what I see our clients using in various companies. So and then internet is not a problem. Remote areas also today have all the facilities. So you may have breakdowns once in a while, but otherwise connectivity is not a big issue. Fortunately, next question is for Rakesh ji. So you can't disappear. It's about like
Just
in
adding
today's
to
scenario
your
something.
remote area tracking system, sir. So you can discuss your current software partner. They can develop the tool, because if I can believe these people are working in the remote area, the cost they can't, Ariba cost, and this they can't afford this kind of cost. So, or even when you can track your footstep also through your mobile, so the apps are also available on Google. Free apps are there. You can real time you can do the track those apps, which is not I'll say 100% reliable, but these are available there. So the question is specific to me in today's scenario when the surgeon is supporting to use disposable specialty gown, drape kits, how will reduce the medical waste? So two scenarios earlier in historical, we used to use the this cloth based gowns and other things. So there's an indirect cost to there, whatever this blood and everything is going into the water, which is also harming to her, because some infections are going while we are sending this gowns for the wash. We don't know how the washing procedure was there, and that boy with blood and infected blood was coming to the water. Though and safety of the surgeon was one questionable, because in laminated and these gowns are not laminated. Doctors are going for the safety also. So if we see the indirect and direct cost of this, the safety of my surgeon, I should go for the disposable. But while negotiating with the vendor, we should know the process of the how to dispose this kind of gowns, how these are the eco-friendly or not, or we can change the quality of the material, like which may the cost will be, again I'm saying the cost will be high, but we can go for those kind of gowns and this kind of take kits where which are recyclable easily and can be converted to the is a recyclable product. That's what the answer I can give for this. Thank you.
I think nowadays you get biodegradable gowns also. So anyone, I think Dr. Acharya had asked another question, like any specific tool for vendor selection and its performance management. Uh, so I would like to say that, ma'am, you have to decide it, your vendor and their selection criteria, because whether they are delivering your products on time or whether they are giving full delivery or part delivery, whether they are giving any material wherein you have some rejection, like damaged goods have received, whether they have always delivery available or what is their delivery pattern or the time for the delivery. So accordingly, you can rate your vendor and you can select your vendor. I think that is the best way you can do.
Dr. This tool and this criteria is depend on the what are your agreement with the vendor. This will be decided based on your negotiation and based on your services what you are expecting from them. There are the specific tools are available which can be modified as per your requirement.
Thank you, sir. I think with this, we are coming to the end of the panel discussion. I thank Sadanand sir, Srinivas sir, and Rakesh sir for your thought-provoking insights, and to the audience for your participation. The path forward lies in collaboration, innovation, and a shared commitment to long-term impact. Thank you once again, and let's keep the momentum going. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thanks a
Dr.
lot.
Alphonsa.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.